Iceland may seem like an unusual location for refugees fleeing the horror and fighting of the war in Syria, but for 118 Syrians, the land of ice and fire offers peace and safety from the seismic events taking place in their homeland. Iceland's climate just outside the Arctic Circle has been no deterrent either, although some of the refugees have received a frosty reception from a small group of Icelanders who oppose immigration to the Nordic nation. But such views are very much in the minority.
Most people in Iceland agree that we can take in more people and that we should be more welcoming.
Halldóra Magnusson, member of the Icelandic Parliament for the Pirate Party, speaking there.
I think probably the main difficulty that people are having is because of our economic troubles and the fact that so many people have been looking at, and especially these vulnerable groups like the unemployed and people who are on disability benefits and old age pensioners, people whose wages or their possibility to participate in the economic system have gone down after the crash, and so people are fearful of a scarcity of resources. And I think that's behind the fear of taking in refugees, is that they look at it as a way of, if their understanding of their life, of the world and their surroundings is scarcity, then they don't really see, they're like, what, we have to take care of our own people first. How can we take care of these refugees coming into the country when there isn't even enough money for us to live a proper and free life?
Also joining me is Bjorn Levi Gunnarsson, a fellow Pirate Party MP.
There are millions of migrants. Everyone has to pitch in, us included. It is somewhat ironic here that the debate always goes into, we can't support refugees coming in because we have to support our low-income groups, where at the same time we're having the Panama Papers issues, where we see that a lot more money than the basically pennies that would go into helping refugees are going offshore. So tapping into that and contrasting that to the migrant problem of like, it costs money, of course, but the amount of money that's going abroad under the tax radar, basically, that should way more than cover that kind of cost.
Because it's a false scarcity. It has to do with distribution.
Yeah.
A distribution system in this country is failing badly. So it's a question of course, that's a problem that we need to address also. But when you have a part of the population that's not making ends meet, just psychologically, the effect that has on people is people are lacking in foresight. They're not really able to look into the future very well. And also, there's also a lack in empathy that comes with that, because people are very focused on their own problems and have more difficulty putting their arms out to other people's problems.
Icelandic is not an easy language. There is support, yes. There could be more, definitely. There are courses, but not really stringent. But to be able to process and become an Icelander, you have to basically pass an Icelandic test. Not really difficult, but you still have to.
So what do ordinary Icelanders think of the arrival of Syrian refugees?
Basically, if there are Syrian refugees here, I couldn't tell you how many there are, but of course Iceland takes in refugees. Everybody was very happy the other day when they were allowed to go and visit the president. I like the positive PR compared to everything else that's going on in the United States, for example. But can't be too many refugees, of course. Small nation, but people are happy that it doesn't have to be Syrian refugees, it could be anywhere. Refugees are refugees, I believe.
Maybe it's better to have some kind of limit, yes. Well, we have so few here.
And what do Icelanders think of people in coming from other countries like Syria?
I think there is a positive view, mostly, yes. But there are exceptions, of course.
The decision of these Syrian refugees to settle in one of the remotest communities in the world, in an environment that is so physically, linguistically and culturally different from the lives they previously led, tells us a lot about the horrors they left behind in the Middle East. But the key to their long-term success in Iceland will undoubtedly be their ability to do what most Icelanders take for granted, and adapt and overcome to the very different challenges of life here. Mark Hurst for Radio Sputnik, Reykjavik.